Run 5 kilometres non-stop.
I like it. I like it very much. So complete park run. We've got 2 doing park run for 5 kilometres.
Got to get up first.
I do park run.
Okay, but you walked it.
Wake up and do a morning class.
Well, we've got someone who started with running park run at the gym. Lisa, did you run it when you first started? Were you running the whole way? You walked, so there we go. So Lisa, so her goal might have been to complete. That's goal 1 is complete park run. She walked it. Goal 2 is to run it. During that period, I think she lost 17 kilos as well, which is pretty outstanding. She's looking amazing now. So that's a goal. Goal number 2 could be for someone to complete park run non-stop. Could be run a half marathon. It could be run a full marathon. Do a triathlon. It's up to you. Remember, it's got to be difficult. You're pushing yourselves. 2018 is about pushing yourself. If you're dominating park run, it's probably a half marathon or a marathon. Okay? And remember, this is all running examples. It can be associated with your sport. It can be in regards to aesthetics, losing body fat percentage, whatever you guys want to do, but it's got to be tough. Now, an example of a 10x goal, if my goal was to run a marathon, it's to run from Sydney to Melbourne, so it's a marathon a day for 21 days. Okay, so that, when I said that, everyone's face went, there's no way you can do it. That's a 10x goal. When people literally, when I tell someone something like that and they think that's unachievable, that's what you want your 10x goal to be. So if you're currently 30 kilos overweight and you tell someone in 24 months, I'm gonna be on a stage as a bodybuilder. They're like, that's not gonna happen, but you can achieve it, right? But it's about literally dedicating yourself for those 12 to 24 months to achieve your 10x goal. Okay, remember you can relate this in business, you can relate this in relationship goals, in your life as well. Today we're talking more specifically on the health and fitness, okay? So right now you might not have a 10x goal, and that's cool because we've got whole 60 minutes to work out what your 10x goal will be. We've also got a few months to talk to me and work it out until we get to January to work out what it may be, okay? It could be your 10x goal could be to run a marathon because Kim's goal was to run 5 kilometers. Okay, if my goal was to run a marathon, I'm gonna have to run 20 marathons to get to Melbourne, okay? So that's what you can look at doing, and I want you, if you don't have a 10x goal, that's completely fine there. But make sure you filled in the goals here at the top and what you want to do and which levels they're at for you. If you don't have a 10x goal, that's completely fine. We're going to talk about that a bit later.
Sorry, what's the levels again?
Okay, so level 1 for me was to get leaner, so to drop 3 kilos, and I ticked level 1 there. A level 2 goal was to run a marathon, and a level 3 is the 10x goal where you see 10x there. So you tick where it fits in for you. And you can have 3 level 1 goals if that's all you're at the moment. But just write down what you want to achieve and then we can level them, okay? If you think it's achievable, it's a level 1. If you think it is achievable but it's going to be bloody hard, level 2. If you think I probably can't do that but I'm going to push myself to the absolute limit to achieve it, that's the 10x, okay? Now remembering you don't have to have them all filled out. We've got the whole time today to work out what you want to achieve. So looking at roadblocks, guys. So for me, if my first goal was to lose 3 kilos, I'm a pretty social guy. I like to catch up with people. It's probably going out and drinking alcohol. That literally is a massive roadblock for me because when I go out, it's often associated with it out for dinner, it's having 2 or 3 beers, it's having some bad food. So I know I might have to just drink soda water and drive and then maybe eat something at home before I go out if I'm going to a burger joint. Or if I'm going to a nice restaurant, have fish and salad. I make my choices, but that's what's going to get me from weighing 80 kilos currently to weighing 77 and being able to run a marathon later on because I'm leaner and I feel better. The next one, goal number 2 for me was run a marathon. So a roadblock in regards to that is I also play football. So I play every Saturday, so I'm a high chance of getting injured. I also train Tuesday, Thursday, so that might hamper my training. I'm often sore. So I've got to find time to fit in when I'm going to practice, train to get ready for the marathon. Okay, does anyone, who's got a roadblock for their goal number 1? Snacking? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Snacking, drinking. Well, it's a very common theme, right? I'm in the exact same boat as you guys. If I want to lose 3 kilos, I know what I've got to curb and what I've got to stop doing. Christmas is definitely a roadblock. So you can write down the dates and what's going to happen there, and a holiday, and also write down, you know, what you're going to do. So for me, if my roadblock was drinking alcohol and eating out, I was then going to drink soda water and I was going to eat dinner before I went out. That's where I was going to address it. For Christmas, you might have to let your family members know you're not going to drink as heavily this year because you're focusing on losing X amount of weight before you start a challenge or before you do something, okay? But you've got to address how you're going to get around it. Then obviously goal number 3 is huge amount of mental toughness. If I'm going to run to Melbourne, it's having the ability to push yourself to the limit mentally and physically. So you're going to want to quit. That's why the exit sign's there. Also the time, because you've got to find time to be able to run for 21 days straight. Do we all have enough time to commit to that long task to do, okay? Not to mention the training involved as well. But then at the end, you get that trophy, you get that sense of satisfaction. So you can literally remember that for the rest of your life, something that you achieved you never thought possible. So whether it's running to Melbourne, whether it's getting on, running a marathon, whether it's going and competing in a triathlon because you used to do them as a kid, whether it's becoming a bodybuilder and doing one show to prove to everyone you could get down below to 10% body fat. Whatever it is, you'll be able to remember that for life, and people will literally be in shock when you achieve that, because when you first initially mentioned that goal to them, they probably laughed at you, okay? But what does that do? That puts fire in your belly to go achieve something that's really incredible. A lot of you might have come here weighing 10, 15, 20 kilos heavier than you are right now. And when you started, you probably thought it wasn't achievable to lose 8 kilos. But you've gone on and lost the 8 kilos. You got to 15, you got to 20, whatever it may be. But now it's realizing, what can you do now that's going to push yourself to the next limit? Does anyone have a 10x goal yet so far? It's okay if you don't.
It's not fitness related though.
Okay, that's all right.
He's self-employed for 60% of the week.
Okay, cool. So like I said at the start, you're more than welcome to throw this into any parts of your life, and you can use this goal setting structure in your life, because you're going to come up with daily habits soon that's going to drive you towards your goal. So for Charlie, it might be obviously working harder in her business, finding more leads, generating more things, networking with more people. That's going to benefit her to be able to be self-employed, which she already is, but more so. Okay, so let's look at now current habits to keep. Okay, so we're going to move on. So for me, as an example, the music symbol there is, I listen to audiobooks, okay? Because I like to continually educate myself and move forward. Thank you very much. That's everyone filled in? Cool. I've got to make sure I'm eating well, which I do. Continue to play sport and exercise, and make sure I do my meal prep. So I'm the chef in the house and constantly cooking all the time. Megan? She looks after most of cooking. But making sure we're doing our meal prep, okay? So that's what you guys have got to think. So write down some habits now. Write down 2 habits that you know towards your goal number 1, goal number 2, that you've got to continue doing. If you're currently training 5 days a week and you're losing weight, that's cool. That can be, bang, keep that consistent training. If it's, being more social, if it's like you catch up with 2 people a week and it makes you feel really good about yourself, make sure you keep doing that. Don't take that away. If it's like me listening to an audiobook, because I liked every day for half an hour to try and learn something, then make sure you keep doing that. All right, so we probably know this one pretty well. Current habits to stop doing. So about 2 or 3 years ago, I had to address this pretty bad because I wasn't moving forward in my life. I essentially wasn't learning anything. I was watching TV far too much. I was on social media far too much. I was snacking and I was eating bad. I was still a personal trainer, but I wasn't actually essentially practicing what I preached. So have a think about some habits that you can stop doing immediately. Now, it might be deleting Facebook off your phone and using it only on a computer to catch up with people rather than just scrolling through every day and wasting an hour of your time. Obviously, snacking is a big one for a lot of us. Drinking alcohol. The couch there symbolizes Netflix and chill. So make sure you don't just sit on the couch and watch Netflix every afternoon as soon as you get home, which is a big one you need to address. Is there any other habits outside of those that someone might want to address? Might be working too much, literally staying at work for too long and not being able to fit fitness into your life.
Through lunches.
Working through lunches? Yeah. And then when you get home, you might overeat because you haven't eaten lunch. Might be not being too busy so you don't spend time on yourself and actually moving forward in your own life and your personal life and getting personal growth. So make sure you write down 2 habits that you're gonna stop doing. So some current habits that you can add in. So for me, like I addressed a few years ago when I really sat down with a coach and went through things I needed to improve on, it was starting a daily journal. If you're looking at goal setting in your life, I couldn't recommend this anymore. Writing down what you want to achieve. So it might be the top 3 things that you want to achieve, you write down every day. So for me, losing 3 kilos, improving my time to run a marathon in 3.5 hours, and then building up the base to run to Melbourne. Or it might be, I want to work self-employed, run my own business 100% of the time. And if you write that every single day, every morning when you wake up, what are you going to be? You're going to get that fire in the belly to literally start working towards what you want to achieve. So it's lose 5 kilos. You write that down every single day. I guess that breakfast, you're not going to walk out of bed after you've written that out and go eat, bacon, eggs, toast, and a muffin and have a cappuccino. You might, work out a healthier option to eat because you've just written down you want to lose 5 kilos. So writing a journal was a huge one for me. Educating myself more was a massive one for me. improving what I was eating. So I actually had to eat more fruit and vegetables. It was really important for me as well. And then, like I said, the fire in the belly, that little flame, was because I was kind of going through life without any personal growth and without improving what I wanted to do. So realizing that we created a vision for Code 5 to help 30,000 people lose 5 kilos of body fat or more, it gave a bit of spark for me to realize, like, I've got to build this gym, I've got to build other gyms, I've got to build a community to help people lose weight. And that in turn, when I wake up, drives me to do what I do. So in regards to pushing forward, working harder in a business sense, if I have a vision that's higher than me and what makes me work harder, huge. Every single day you write that down, it makes you want to come in and make sure you want to help people. In regards to your goals, if you write it every single day, after 3 months, you're just going to start doing it. I started at the start of the year saying I want to start public speaking. It took me till September to start talking at high schools. 9 months. I wrote it down every single day and I just got ridiculously embarrassed in myself. So I just had to reach out to schools to start talking to them. So it's something that you might work on. It might take you 9 months, but if you don't write it down, you might never do it at all. So you've written down some stuff that you're going to start doing, stop doing, some things you need to add in. We're now going to look at obviously executing it. So we're going to now customize your plan. Make it very specific to you. So who's got a goal and they feel they might need some extra knowledge or extra help? Yeah? Do you want to share it with everyone?
So I've been saying for the last 5 years, I'm going to do a comp this year. I'm going to do a comp this year.
Okay.
Next year is the year it's going to happen because obviously I'm getting to the point now I'm married,
Uh-huh.
have a baby soon.
Yeah.
This is the year
This is
it's
it.
going to happen.
Yeah, so you've got to reach out to a coach maybe who's going to literally and book yourself in for a competition and say that I've got 6 months to prepare, 9 months to prepare, and you've got to do it. So it's about taking action as well. So what was your name?
Deb.
Deb. So Deb here is going to do a bodybuilding competition. Okay, so she's got to book it in advance because if she keeps saying she's going to do it but literally doesn't take ownership for it, then it's going to come through the year and it might happen again that she doesn't actually participate in a bodybuilding competition. So she needs to reach out to a coach who's going to say, book in now, let's start training you and getting in regards to your nutrition, everything sorted to make sure you achieve it. So that's the extra knowledge she needs to know. It might be if you're not eating the right foods or you don't know what foods you should be eating, it's reaching out to someone at Code 5 and saying, can I have half an hour of your time to go over what I'm eating and why I'm eating it, okay? So do you need a coach? Very brief story. Like I said, 2 years ago, I was sort of going in a circle where my business wasn't growing. I wasn't doing anything for my personal life as well. And I reached out and got a coach. They keep you accountable. They drive you towards your goals and what you want to do. They're there to support you. They're there to help you. If you're currently in a state of trying to achieve level 1 goal, so losing 3 kilos, but you might not have done it in 6 months, you've been plateauing for a while, reach out to someone at Code 5. If you do an unlimited membership at Code 5 or bigger, so essentially do the unlimited large group classes or BTT, you should have a coach. You should have someone to lean on you. So make sure if you're doing that package at the end, let me know. If you're not, but you want to get a coach, I would definitely recommend investing the extra $10 to get someone to help you every single week. To have someone, if you need to check your MyFitnessPal, to check your MyZone, to talk to you about what you want to achieve, because that will drive you towards goal number 1, goal number 2, and then support you on your journey on your 10X goal. Anywhere, anyone in life should have a coach or a mentor to continue to drive them better. Even the top-notch guys will still have someone to keep them accountable, because if no one's there to keep you accountable, if you don't come to the gym, if you don't eat the right foods, if you don't put in the training for a marathon, you're more than likely going to fail. And that's the last thing anyone wants, okay? So having a coach is going to give you that supreme accountability. For example, if you're in social media and you've been working and you feel like you're improving but you might not be taking it to the standard you want, you can reach out to one of the best experts in Australia. Invest $1,500 on personal growth so they can teach you even more about social media, how to run Facebook ads, how to run Instagram ads to improve in what you want to do. Make that investment because all it's going to do is huge personal growth. All right, I absolutely love little accountability apps, things that educate you that take 3 minutes, because I have a very horrible attention span, so the quicker the better for me. I'm also a bad reader, so anything that talks to me is a lot better for me too. Let's talk about some apps that will teach you to stay on track. Now you guys can write, I'm going to talk to you about these apps. Now you guys can write anywhere on the page or on the back if you want to write down what I talk about in the individual apps. Then you can work out if they're beneficial for you, and you can write it down in the app area and write down why that one and why you're going to use it. The first one is Way of Life. Has anyone heard of that app before, Way of Life? Okay. Way of Life is a really cool app. We're going to talk about your pillars at the end, just down the bottom of the page. And Way of Life is where you can put in your pillars. So what's important to you? So For example, I like to study for half an hour a day. I like to train in the mornings because I just feel so much better. So I have training AM in my way of life. Having healthy eating. Have I literally, at the end of the night, I'll be like, did I eat healthy today? And I know what healthy means, and it's a simple yes or no for me. And have I been building relationships? So I like to, as you know, me and Jimmy like to help as many people as we can. We also like to reach out for anyone that might be suffering with depression, anxiety, bipolar disorders, anything like that. So I make sure in my way of life, have I reached out to someone that week to make sure they're doing okay, or are they improving in their life? That, like, although it is something that's so huge to me, it's often easily forgotten. You might go a month without reaching out to an old friend who you know once suffered from depression. If you have way of life, I'm like, holy shit, I haven't done it. Call my old mate who has it. Check out how he's going. So that's a simple accountability tracker for me that way of life helps me with. And you just simply tick yes, no, okay? And then another one is if you might be really stressed, it might be to meditate to de-stress, okay? You have 5 pillars. You can just tick yes, no every single day, and you can progress through. If you miss it that day, you can't check in. So it'll show gaps. So if you're not feeling in your way of life, me as an accountability coach at Code 5, I might say, Kaz, show me your way of life. She's like, oh God, I haven't filled it out. I'm not doing any of this stuff. Then we're like, let's sit down and work out why you're not filling it out. Set an alarm on your phone at 7:30 p.m. every night when you have dinner, fill it out. Then it keeps you ultimately accountable. Are you training every day? Are you eating the right foods? Are you reaching out to friends? Are you studying? Are you building on your personal growth? Are you having relationship goals? Are you catching up with your partner once a week? Whatever it may be. It's an awesome, awesome app, and I really recommend using it. I think it's about $6. I'm not 100% sure. Daily Quote, the next app. As it sounds, you get a daily quote delivered to you. It's really inspiring, really cool. I like to get mine delivered at 7:30 a.m. So I'm having my coffee, I'm writing out my plan for the day, and I get pumped up from a cool quote, okay? It just lets me know, it fires you up, whatever it may be. Often I'll screenshot it and send it to 5 people that I know that own their own businesses and want to be motivated and work hard. It's a really cool one. If you're not into quotes or you think it's corny, you can flag that one. But for me personally, it motivates me a lot. MyZone. Who's got a MyZone here? Hands up if you've got a MyZone. Okay, so probably about 50-60% of the people in the room. Awesome tracker. Anyone on a fat loss journey, I couldn't recommend it any higher, as it tells you exactly how many calories you're burning in every single session. It's a really cool accountability tool for me. I can just check it. Is Di wearing a MyZone? How many sessions have you done this week? She says 4. Well, I've only seen 2 on MyZone. Oh, I forgot to wear it those 2 times. That's cool. Let's wear it, okay? It's cool. And then she doesn't even know I'm checking up on her. I just go on a MyZone. Okay, so it's an awesome accountability tool as well. Not to mention, I'm sure you guys get a bit motivated when you see yourself in the yellow zone and someone next to you is in the red zone. You might work a bit harder. So you're actually going to work harder in sessions as well, okay? So anyone in the gym that wants to work harder, train harder, get more out of the sessions, I recommend it. Anyone on a fat loss journey, amazing tool to track how many sessions you're doing. And you know what? At the end of the year, you can look back at your MyZone and go, oh my God, I worked out like every second day. I worked out 5 days a week for 9 months or 12 months, whatever it was. So you get that sense of satisfaction with it as well. MyFitnessPal, again, anyone on a fat loss journey, amazing tool to track exactly what you're eating, how many calories you're eating. Kaz loves it. She fills it in once a month, which is awesome. So it's about actually using it. Now I'll tell you now, that's your new way of life now, fill in MyFitnessPal.
I know, it's the same as you. It's the attention span. I just haven't got the time to
I know.
do it. I know. It's just you wait.
So using MyFitnessPal is obviously an amazing tool as it can track what you're doing. Not to mention your coach can check up on you and log on to your MyFitnessPal and see if you're filling it in, seeing if you're eating the right things as well, okay? Anyone on a fat loss journey, amazing tool. Very quick story. When I started as a personal trainer, I think I was 21, I used MyFitnessPal for 60 days, and it honestly taught me more in those 60 days about nutrition than I learnt my whole life. That's how powerful that tool is. That's how much you can learn off it, by learning exactly how many carbs, proteins, fats are in certain types of foods, how many calories, all these sorts of things. Okay, Blinkist. Has anyone heard of Blinkist before? Okay, Blinkist is a really, really cool app. Again, like I spoke about, I've got a horrible attention span. I like quick information. This tool is where it will summarize books in 10 minutes. So it is an expensive app. It'll summarize what you want. So the 7 habits of highly successful people, it'll tell you those 7 habits in 10 minutes. It won't necessarily tell you in depth, but it'll give you options to make sure you give a firm handshake, make sure you're smiling, make sure you're asking more about someone than you're giving the information about yourself. That's how you become more likable, right? So in 10 minutes, you can learn about a certain book. Then if you like it, you can go buy the book and read it, or you can buy the audio book and listen to it. It's a really cool educational tool. I try and listen to like 2 a day, so it's like 20 minutes, you quickly learn. Then when someone comes up to you and asks you about a book, you can act like you actually read it. Yeah, I've read that book before. You know the keys of the 10 minutes, the keys, okay? So it makes you actually seem smarter than you actually are, which is really nice for me. Unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily bring up your IQ, but it makes you seem smarter. So Blinkist, it is expensive though. I think it's like $10 a month, but like I said, personal growth for $120 a year, that sounds like a bargain to me, in all honesty. Then we've got Audible, guys. I'm sure most of you know, or half of you know what Audible is. So it's an audio book that you just download the app, or it might even be on your phone already. You go on Amazon, download the audio books, link it to your phone. As you drive, you can listen to the books. As you walk around, I like to listen to half an hour a day. Some days I listen to a really good book and I'll spend longer. It just gets that personal growth going every single day. If you feel like you want to learn more about running, I'm sure there's Audible books on running, on nutrition, and there's definitely a lot of books on nutrition. If it's about personal growth, we've got like amazing books from Tony Robbins, marketing, Gary Vee. There's all sorts of stuff there that you can listen to. So Audible's awesome. You just buy it. It's $10 a month and you get Audible every month. You get a book every month. So then you aim to listen to that one book a month, and in the year you've at least listened to 12 books. For me, coming from a kid who could barely read, literally that kid can't even read. I could barely read. I'm now listening to a book a month, okay? So it's something about progressing you. And if it catches up and you've like realized you haven't done it, you quickly quick some up before bed, listen to an hour, and then you go to bed, stuff like that. So again, if you want to learn, put yourself in the right journey to achieve goal number 1, 2, and your 10x goal, just download books that are going to drive you and work you towards that. It purely could be motivational, because you might be lacking motivation. So if you're listening to motivational books for half an hour a day, you're going to be pretty pumped up. You're going to have a spark in your belly and a kick in your step. So they are some apps to stay on track. Does anyone have an app that they've taken out there they're going to use? Way of Life. Way of Life's a good one. Yeah, that's a huge... Daily Quote's cool. Yeah, it pumps me up every day at 7:30. I get fired up. Try to use my MyFitnessPal. Awesome. Anyone else? Anyone can... Blinkist. Workout. I'll sit down with you, man. We'll do 10 minutes together. I'll teach it for you, okay? I'll go through it with you, the basics, and then you'll improve from there. Anyone else that are going to take on an app that was up there?
Restart MyFitnessPal.
You're going to restart it? That's good, yeah. Nice. All right. Cool. So I hope you got a little bit out of those apps. They're honestly gold, and they can, if you do a few of those, don't have to take on all of them, if you can do a few of those daily. Oh, the other one I forgot to mention, which I've just started, is Headspace, which helps you meditate, okay? So if you are stressed, which I'm sure a lot of us are, Headspace for half an hour, 15 minutes, even 5 minutes a day will help. So you can write down Headspace to help with any meditation, okay, or de-stress. Yes.
Could you, talking about MyFitnessPal, it is a bit clunky to use, and there are shortcuts. Could you do like a little tutorial on, because there are definite shortcuts if you put in
Yeah, definitely.
like common foods that you use, it's easy to
Yeah.
those, and
Yeah.
just so it makes it easy.
What we're going to do, we've already done a video on it. We have done a video. Sorry, what's that? Oh, can we do like a little seminar maybe on MyFitnessPal? So what we did a short video on it, and not many people actually watched the video. I think we had 47 views out of both gyms. So did you watch it, Anne? Yeah, the Anne. Didn't help you enough? So we're going to put more effort into it. We're going to put a bit more effort into it, and it might still be half an hour, but it will literally just be a screenshot of us working on the computer and our different phones and showing you what to do. If we do a seminar, we might make it that we need to get like 50 or 30 minimum to actually run the seminar, to make sure people are really interested in it and really keen to actually learn a lot about it. But it's a really good point, and I mean, if it's going to help people lose more weight and stay accountable, yeah, tips and tricks and stuff.
If you're only using it for the first time, it is very time consuming. But there are quicker ways to do it,
Yeah.
but people don't know those quicker
Yeah, for sure. I think as well, yeah, when you start, it is difficult when you start, but if you stick with it for a few days, even a week, you start to really nail it. And then it will come up with like, have you eaten breakfast today, give you alarms and all these sorts of stuff. But yeah, I'll definitely look into doing that. All right, so we've written down some apps now, guys. So everyone should have some apps written down that you can implement, which is exciting. Hopefully you take these away. So if you've written information on the apps on the back, now go to the space on the page where it says app name and why that one, and write down why you're going to use that app. So if it's Headspace, you're going to be using that because you have been stressed at work. Way of Life, it's because you want extra accountability in your life. You want to make sure every single day you're filling something in. If it's MyFitnessPal, you want to improve your nutrition, want to continue on a fat loss journey, whatever it may be, I want you to give you 30 seconds to write it down. Okay, guys. So we're now going to look, you should be filling in as we go. If you're not, you can always do it later on. And I really think it's a powerful tool to make sure you're writing stuff down as you're listening to it. It'll help you remember it a lot better. And then you can always look back on your notes if you want. So the next thing we're going to look at is the pillars down the bottom, okay? We're going to talk about a few things and you can implement what you think will be good pillars in your life that then you might implement in your Way of Life app if you download it, okay? So, are you packing your bag the night before you get up early for the gym or even the night before work? You're not rushing early in the morning? Do you write your goals down every day? I obviously spoke about how powerful it was in me actually starting public speaking. It took me 9 months to do it, but I saw it every day and was really embarrassed about how I kept writing it down, not doing it. Do you exercise every day? Okay, no matter at what point, it could be 20 minutes in the morning and make yourself feel better. It could be half an hour at night. There's a direct correlation between exercise, physical exercise and mental health. Okay, so as we know, a lot of people have come to this gym, maybe overweight, not feeling mentally the best as they can be, feeling down. Adding in exercise is a huge way in feeling better. Are you using Way of Life? Are you listening to audiobooks for personal growth? What time do you wake up in the mornings? They say successful people wake up nice and early, generally the same time they start their day with exercise. Do you study during the day or daily? Do you study weekly to improve? What do you do in the first thing in the morning just to have a think about that and how you could be immediately write your goals? Could be some self-motivated talk. I am the best public speaker in the world. Say that 10 times every time you wake up in the morning. Make yourself feel better about that. Do you train daily, weekly? Do you make your bed? The military is so big on this. You've got to be structured in your life to physically wake up and make your bed. Start your day off right rather than slopping out of bed and leaving it everywhere and just walking out like that. Okay? Do you meditate? Do you need to meditate? Are you stressed? Do you have a food diary? Do you fill in MyFitnessPal? Do you have any relationship goals that you need to work towards that you can put in your pillars? And do you have any social goals? So you might be a little bit of a recluse. You might make a goal, one of your pillars, to reach out to someone every single week to make sure. Often a lot of us here are probably overly social. We need to curb it a little bit. But it's obviously a really good thing to implement in. Okay, so what are some pillars that you guys are going to write down the bottom? Now, a pillar could be training, could be studying, it could be eating healthy, could be using Headspace, essentially meditating, could be focusing on half an hour of relationship time. These are 5 things you want to either implement daily or at least weekly in your life to push you towards goal number 1, goal number 2, and your 10x goal. Remember, try and keep it fitness related because we are talking about your health and fitness, but if you want to write some work ones or some personal ones, definitely do that as well. If anyone wants to share theirs, that would be really cool. JHB.
Well, I find it hard, especially during shift work, trying to have something consistent.
For sure,
Because
for sure.
Like, I might be doing nights, might be working from 7 o'clock, might be 1:30 start. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
so trying to actually have something.
Well, obviously, yeah, so really good point, and JHB works in a hospital, so, I mean, you'd be looking at like things that you can implement during your life, so it might be half an hour study. Like even though you might finish your shift, you could still on the drive home listen to an audio book, things like that. Obviously like routines and training times out the window. So then for you it might be weekly, do I do 7, like whatever your goal is, you might need to train 7 times, 3 times, 5 times. Have I hit 5 training sessions? Like making that a priority. So even if you work a night shift, you come in for 45 minutes, do a session, then go home to bed. You can break it down weekly, you can do monthly, whatever works for your lifestyle. For me, I'm reasonably regimented. I usually get up at about 5:30 and start work at about 7:30. So it's super easy for me. I know what I need to do. I know my day's planned out. Obviously for you, it's harder. For some people that travel with business, it obviously throws a huge curveball in there as well. But breaking down your month or your week can help as well. And just being realistic. So if you know that you've worked a huge day, you might not, and you finish at 2 a.m., you're not going to say 5 a.m. alarm, 6 a.m. class. It's come in at midday to do your training. But if your goal is to train 5 days a week, make sure you hit that. But for you, you won't have a routine, unfortunately. Anyone got some pillars that they'd like to share in their lives?
Incidental exercise.
Okay, cool. And that can relate to social as well, right? Let's go for a walk up and down the beach. Let's walk to the shops instead of driving, whatever it may be. Kim?
I was going to say that I find that I've got the opposite problem. I get myself into Groundhog Day.
Okay.
I have to be in bed by 9:30, by 10 at the latest. I've got to get up at 10 to 5 to come to the gym, and I'm not walking on the beach anymore. I'm not doing
You might not be enjoying it as much.
So I'm finding that like I can't do things during the week with friends because I've got to go to the gym.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm finding that really regimented.
Yeah.
To mix it up a little bit.
Well, especially if one of your pillars is like you know, having great relationships with people or being social because it makes you feel good, then you've got to spend time. It might be like feel amazing. So 2 hours of the week, you've got to, what makes you feel good? Catching up with a friend, going for a walk. So that's the pillar. That's what you've got to put in there. Anyone else got anything that they want to put in their pillars or share?
Mine is actually
Drink more water, yeah.
my brain functions better.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So you might be a bit dehydrated, especially as we're coming into summer. We don't have air conditioning here either as well. Food dough.
Can you talk about the amount of water you drink too?
Yeah.
Because there's varying thoughts on how much water you should drink.
Drink more than you think you should is a nice rule of thumb. So guys, in regards to water intake, we recommend to drink a minimum of 2 litres a day. Especially in summer when you're going to be training, you want to try and drink more than that. We generally say a minimum of 2 litres a day. We'll find some people drink 1 cup of water and 3 cups of coffee. It's probably not the best idea, to be honest. All right, awesome. So everyone's filled in their pillars, okay? So now what we're going to look at next up, guys, where we're at. So you should have goal number 1. Has everyone got goal number 1? Hand up if you've got goal number 1 done. Okay, has anyone got goal number 2 done? Has anyone got a 10x goal yet? A couple. Okay, that's cool. We got about 5 or 6 with a 10x goal. Cool. What will you stop doing? We've spoken about what you're going to stop doing, what you're going to start doing. Okay, that's really exciting. We've spoken about what you might need to learn. If you need to reach out to get a coach, if you want to get a coach at Code 5, if you need to learn about nutrition more, whatever it may be, maybe running if you're going to start running a marathon. We've just written our pillars to success and we've learned about some new apps, okay, which are going to help us to succeed. So now we're going to look at events for 2018, guys. So I want you to now go through here and circle some events, or actually just write down this back page. You're going to hand in, okay? You're going to give it to Georgie at the back. You're going to hand this in at the end of the seminar. So circle and write down some events that you want to do during 2018. So we've got a Bali retreat. We've actually had someone unfortunately not make it. So if anyone's interested in that, we do have a spot available for that. We've got the 10-week challenge. Anyone interested in any retreats at the end, I'll come up and I'll chat to you guys individually about it. Essentially, it's around 2,200 to 2,500 is the pricing structure. We've got our 10-week challenge, okay? If your goal is to lose maybe 5 kilos or something like that as soon as you get into 2018 or from now to then, 10-week challenge is an awesome first up tool to help you achieve goal number 1 because you're going to get that extra accountability. We've got Sandhill Warrior Day, stretching and mobility seminar, a huge variety of events. Have a look through, see what takes your eye. Whatever you feel like might interest you, I want you to note down and circle and write it there for me.
What's March Madness?
Oh, cool. So that's a good question. So March Madness, guys, is where we're going to be doing a MyZone challenge. So as a community, we're going to see how many MEPs we can burn. So if you've got a MyZone, you want to be involved in that and step up and you might add to your training. March Madness is a really cool one. Anything else? We're going to do a gym party in May, which is going to be a bit of a surprise secret party. So everyone, we've only got 100 spots available for that between the 2 gyms. So if that would interest you, that's a really good one. Feb Fast is alcohol free. So not drinking for all of Feb, getting sponsorship, trying to raise money for living, a charity that works with depression. We've got the Spartan race is on there somewhere. That's like a smaller version of the Tough Mudder. Okay, so if anyone missed out on the Tough Mudder or might have recently done the Tough Mudder and want to do it, it's cool. Or if you aspire to do the Tough Mudder in November, this is an awesome one to set you up to do it before you do the Tough Mudder.
Sorry, what do you cover in the advanced seminar?
In the...
Specific topic that you come up with, or?
Oh, it's supposed to be advanced nutrition seminar. So we run them every 8 weeks. Yeah. All right, guys. So everyone should have circled some events there that they want to do in 2018. Should be exciting. There might be someone there that could be your 10x goal as well. Remembering that if you want to lose 20 kilos, but doing the Tough Mudder might seem right now like it's an absolute mile away, but if you drop that 20 kilos as your goal number 1 and 2, Tough Mudder suddenly becomes a 10x goal for you and you can achieve that. All right, so I'm going to briefly talk to you about the 10-week challenge. We're going to talk to you about the Thailand March trip as well. Or you're going to have a look at a video actually. So the 10 weeks challenge, this is what I spoke about earlier. It can help you achieve goal number 1. If you want to start 2018 by losing weight, feeling better and training really hard, I definitely recommend doing this challenge. You get free entry if you're Code 5 member, if you have an unlimited in-body scan pass, and if you've turned up to the seminar, okay? So that's probably qualifies for half of you already, which is awesome. If you're not in that, all I would recommend doing is buying an in-body scan pass so you can actually track what your muscle mass and body fat's doing. It's $99 and you get access to the 10-week challenge as well, okay? The winner of the 10-week challenge wins $1,000. So let's have a look at what the Thailand training camp's gonna look like. For some of you who might have aspired just to lose weight, this could be an awesome 10x goal for you to travel overseas, train 3 times a day, do seminars, actually climb a mountain, carrying a battle rope and pushing each other to the mental and physical limits. Oh. I think there's music. There we go. Oh no. Let it load up a bit. So just a glimpse of what the Thailand retreat is going to look like. Like I said, it's the ultimate finish to the 10-week challenge. It's actually in the second last week of the challenge. I've seen people go on these sorts of retreats and drop 2 to 4 kilos in a week and absolutely smash it. Obviously, they're running their bodies at a huge calorie deficit, training so much, 3 times a day essentially. You get all your meals included, okay, on the trip. You can become the fittest you've ever been, okay? Like, we've got a lot of people in this room now that are on a fat loss journey. If you've lost the weight and you might not have ever been that peak that you wanted to be in regards to your fitness, this is where you can really find it. You're gonna push yourself to the physical limit and the mental limit. We're gonna have 2 challenges on the trip, which is gonna be really hard, but rewarding. Like I said, complete a mountain hike and possibly 10x your goal in 2018 by March. So then obviously we're leading into April. You've got another 9 months of the year. You're feeling amazing. You've achieved something really special. If anyone's interested today, come talk to me at the end. Anyone who makes a commitment today actually gets $200 off. So it's a pretty cool saving there for you. So guys, we're coming near the end of today. Now you're gonna decide your journey. You're gonna decide what you wanna do in 2018. I hope you get to become the fittest and healthiest you've ever been in 2018. I want you to trust your gut on what goals you've decided to achieve. So what you want to do, what first comes to your mind is often the best thing, okay? So if you haven't decided on something specific yet, or you don't have a 10x goal, when you get some time, think about one of the first things you thought about, because it's often the closest thing to you. For myself and Jimmy, we would like to do a really long distance challenging thing that challenges us mentally and physically, and we'd like to raise money for a charity that's involved with people that suffer from depression. So raising money and awareness for charity. That's our 10x goal because it's very close to our heart. We know once we complete it, we'll feel amazing. So often related to something that you think will make you feel really, really good. You've ticked all the events you're going to attend, you've written them down, you have circled them. I want you to rip off that page and you're going to be giving it, you can do that at the end, but you're going to be giving that to Georgie at the back. I want you to now go to the front cover and I want you to write down 3 things, the 1, 2 and 10x that you want to do. If you don't have a 10x, that is okay. I'm more than happy to chat to you via email, phone call, text, or face-to-face over the next sort of few weeks to work out what your 10x might be. I just want to obviously say, yeah, fill that in first of all. I'll give you guys the time to fill it in. If you don't have your 10x, like I said, that is okay. Write down what you want to achieve and let's work towards it. And remembering, guys, you can relate this into any aspect of your life using these sorts of things, and obviously creating the daily habits and using the applications we spoke about. You can relate it to personal life, to catching up with more friends more often, whatever you want to do. It doesn't always have to be about health and fitness, education, whatever it may be. Hopefully it keeps you a bit more accountable to achieve more in 2018. Okay, so that front page you've written down and you've written down your goals. You're going to go home today and you're going to sticky tape it somewhere in your house or in your bedroom where you can see it every day. So every single day when you wake up, you're going to see what you want to achieve in 2018, okay? You're going to leave it there, and once you've done it, you're going to tick it off or cross it out or whatever you want to do, put a smiley face on it, so you're going to push towards achieving that goal. Seeing something every single day drives you towards doing it. Actually writing it down is even better. So if you can, and I would urge everyone to do this, is get a journal and write down their goals in that journal every single day. And you can also write down, if you want to improve even more, is write down what you're grateful for. If you write down what you're grateful for, you're often going to let that person know, or those people know what you're grateful for, and that'll make them feel good too. And that's what we want. We all want to feel good and work towards our goals, right? So my big takeaways from today was write down your goals. Huge way in driving factor on achieving what you want to do. I did it 2 years ago and it's changed my life. It's taken Code 5 from 200 members to 800 members. It's honestly changed the way we work and our personal growth. Get a coach. If you want to achieve something, you need someone to keep you accountable. Often reaching out to people who are playing the game at a higher level is a huge thing to do. So our first business coach, he ran a small business. Our next business coach, he ran a larger business. Our latest business coach once owned 220 gyms. He owned Curves at 220 gyms. So now you're working with someone who's absolutely at the top of their game. So for you guys, on whatever you want to achieve, always reach out to someone playing the game at a higher level. The other thing to remember is there's going to be a point in your life where you might need to cut some people from your life. If they're not bringing you up, they're bringing you down. Okay? So if they're not driving you towards their goals, then they're probably not the best people to hang around with, because see yourself in the future is look at the people you're currently hanging around with, you'll be doing the same stuff. Okay? So work with someone, work with people that are going to bring you better rather than pull you down. Thanks, guys. Make sure you live the code and have a great day. That's everything.